So this is going to be a little bit longer than the other sessions that are in the course, but I hope you enjoy it. Just give you a taster of other things if you feel you've got a little bit more time. So this is going to be taught seated. You can do it lying down if you wish, but for today's session, I'm going to do it seated. So come and sit on your chair in a balanced, comfortable way, preferably with both feet on the floor, so you're not sitting back in your sofa with your feet up. If you are sitting on the sofa, sit towards the front of it. If you're sitting on the bed, sit towards the edge of it. And you could have your elbows on a desk if you want to, or on a table in front of you, or on an armrest. If you have an armrest, it might make it easier for what we're going to do. And just for a moment, can you sense your environment? Close your eyes if you want to. Your both feet are on the floor. Notice that there's a distance between the knees. They're not falling in towards each other. And just being aware of the weight of your pelvis on the chair. Notice the length of your spine, the tailbone, lower back, mid-back, and all up into your neck. Shoulders, either side of your spine, your ribs. A clear sense of your body, spreading that awareness. Right side and the left side. And if they feel any different to each other, does your right side have more awareness than your left, or is your left side you're more aware of than your right? Just one leg feel longer or stronger, one arm. If you were to draw a straight line down the middle of yourself, what would you notice comparing one foot, one leg? The sit bone is a bit more in contact with the chair than the other. One hand seem looser or bigger or smaller. The difference in how you touch your body where your hands are resting. Is it easier with your eyes closed to sense what's going on, to sense your body? All right, so now bring your hands together and interlace them. So if you interlace your hands together, one thumb is on top of the other, and one little finger is at the back, wiggling about. And you can have them in your lap or on the table. If you're on the table, have your elbows on the table if you want to, and your hands up towards your face, whatever's comfortable. And then look at your hands. So if you're not on the table, if they're on the rest arms, you can have your hands down here in your lap. So this is the usual way that a normal way that you interlace your hands, a habitual way, we'll call it habitual. If you were to unlace your hands and interlace them again so the other thumb was on top, so the fingers would go down one or up one, and interlace them again. This is the non-habitual way. And notice how that feels. So go back to what it was. And then unlace them and go up or go down one. So I went up, and my other thumb's in front. My other little finger is now at the back. A non-habitual way. Just feel the difference. Does it feel? How does it feel to have your hands interlaced in a non-habitual way? So take your hands away, put them back just the normal way without even thinking about it. Notice how that feels. Yep. Unlace them, put them back in the non-habitual way. Notice your spine, how your pelvis feels. Any difference in the sensing of your face, your eyes. Okay, let that go. Bring your attention back to how you're sitting, your breath. Okay, so coming back to being aware of if you're at a desk or a table, if you've got your armrests. So we're going to use the right hand to trace your left hand. So your right hand is going to be active and your left hand is going to be passive. It's not really going to do anything. It's going to not move. So I'm going to do this. I'm at a desk and my elbows are on the table. So you could do this at your kitchen table again, or you could do it with your armrest or if you're at work. And just bring your hands up towards your face. So if you are on the rest, so like this, okay, elbows are on the armrests. And what you're going to do is take your right thumb to your left thumb, and gently you're going to trace all around your left thumb with your right thumb. So your right thumb to your left thumb, all sides, bottom of it, side of it, the pad, where the fingerprint is, the back of the thumb, the nail, that you discover the easiest and best way for you to do that. The gentlest way. Don't hold your breath. Relax your jaw. So it's only feeling that the right hand is moving, but your left hand is not. So your right thumb is doing the work, not your left thumb. Your left thumb is still. I mean, you might want to turn it to make it easier to get into a different part of it, but you're not actually doing any movement with the thumb. Go as slowly as you can go, and if you think you're going slowly, see if you can go even slower. Use less effort and more ease, so you can pick up on any sensations that are coming through. Close your eyes if you need to do that. Take your time and just notice. And let that go for a moment. Sit back in your chair if you want to. That's it. And then as you let that go, close your eyes and feel in your imagination without touching. Imagine you're doing this with your imagination. Putting the weight in your chair, the weight in your arms, feeling the left thumb as if you were stroking it with your right thumb, but in your imagination. Just noticing if there's any differences. You can notice what's happening. In your imagination, can you sense the difference in the right side of your face and in the left side of your face? You're not actually touching your face, you're just imagining if you can feel or sense any difference. Do you feel anything in the right or the left side of you? Okay, or maybe not so much. Okay, so come back and let's move to the index finger. So your right index finger first is going to move. Your left index finger going to stay passive and not move. And you're going to draw around with your right index finger around the left index finger. The sides all the way down, the base of it, how it connects to your hand, slowly and gently. Don't hold your breath. You might notice the bends and the joints. The top of your index finger might feel different to the bottom of it. Maybe there's more sensitivity in one part than the other. Staying passive on that left side. Remember, you can move that hand around if you need to get into a different part of the finger if it's difficult. With the eyes closed if it's comfortable, or maybe try it with the eyes open and see the difference. It's quite nice doing it with the eyes shut. When you've had enough, please stop and rest and take your attention to scan yourself, starting from the right eye. Feel your right eye and the right side of your face, and then go down the right side of your neck, just noticing, sensing the right arm, index finger that you were just moving. Come back up your right arm and scan down the right side of your ribs, chest, noticing the pelvis. Can you feel in your mind's eye your toes, maybe individually, or maybe just from the sensing one of your toes? What do you notice? Compare that sense that you got on your right side compared to your left side in just a general way, just noticing. Maybe sensing that left side of the pelvis, does it feel different to the right? Rib cage, maybe the eyelids even. The left eyelid, noticing around that eyelid, left cheek, and the left index finger that you were just touching compared to your right. Just noticing comfort in your seating position. Okay, so let's move to the middle finger. The right one's going to move and the left one isn't, because there's two fingers either side of that. You might want to move the left hand around a little bit to get in there and just to notice. Again, have your arms resting on the desk or on the armrest. Closing the eyes if you feel that's nicer. Remember that your left little middle finger isn't moving. The right one is. Sensing where the finger touches the hand, where it begins, where it ends, the pad of it, the sides of it. Comforting movement, slow, with ease. Just exploring, being curious, as if you were feeling and noticing this for the very first time. And just being aware as you do that, what can you do to make it even more gentle, or even feeling more at ease? How could you make it even slower? More relaxing. Noticing your breath. You might actually notice it's changed a bit since we started the session. Maybe the muscles in your face are relaxing. Okay, so let that go. Rest how you need to rest, whether you want to sit back in the chair or whether you feel that you want to get up and move. Scan your body now, how we did just now. So let's just scan. Notice that right side, fingers, arm, shoulder, ribs, pelvis, leg, and compare it to the left. You're noticing the left foot compared to your right, the left knee, the left side of your hip. And all the way up into your fingers, you notice the left hand compared to your right, and even up into your face, how the left side of your face compares to the right side. Okay, so next is the fourth finger. We're going to skip that for now and go to your little finger. Whatever way is comfortable with your right little finger, trace every part of your left little finger. So when I was little, I put this finger through a glass pane in a kitchen door when I was about 5 or 6, and I have a, I don't know if you can see that because it's not as marked as it was, but I have a line all the way down the middle, a scar from it being stitched up. So when I first started doing these, it felt really like, ooh, don't want to touch it. But it's now when I wake up that little finger, it helps drop the left shoulder. It's helped wake up so many other fingers on that left side, and it's helped me be aware that actually for years, many years, I felt that I actually didn't have a left little finger, which obviously then you have to compensate for things like that in holding up the arm with your shoulder. And then that explains why all the people that went to go see to help massage my left shoulder were saying, oh, you stop carrying a bag on your left shoulder. It wasn't the bag, it was actually the scar on my left little finger that was the issue all the time. And that sensing and that bringing back that awareness. And doing this in a way that's more so pleasing and satisfying to you, not feeling that you have to get it over and done with. And when you've had enough, let it go. Sit back if you want to, rest, walk around if you want to. Noticing your hands, compared right side to left side, right side of your body compared to the left. Okay, so the fourth finger we haven't worked with yet. Do you notice that? So when you're ready, take your fourth finger of your right hand to the fourth finger of your left, either with your elbows on the table or elbows on the armrest. Close your eyes if you feel it's more comfortable for you to do so. You might sense more with the eyes closed. Take all the time you need to feel where that finger connects to your palm, to your hand, the sides of it, the bends, the lines, the wrinkles, any scars, any softness, any hardness, the pad, back, where it feels sensitive, where it doesn't. And then let that go for a moment. Relax, scan your body from your feet, noticing any difference. Coming all the way up into your knees, noticing the pelvis now, spine, arms, neck, head, right eye compared to left eye. And let's come back to interlacing our fingers as we did in the beginning. And do that again. Are your hands looser? Do they feel more relaxed? Do your shoulders feel different? Take them away from each other and put them in the non-habitual way, and notice how that feels. So the opposite thumb is on top. Maybe go back and forth a couple of times with your eyes shut, so you can sense how you can make it easier and simpler. If you're near a table, elbows on the table. Or maybe if you're not, if your hands are in your lap, maybe you'll find that you could do this with your hands in your lap. And then come back and rest. Walk around a bit, pause the video if you want to, or sit back and rest in the chair. And then come back when you're ready. Come back to sitting, get comfortable and balanced. So you're sitting at the front of the chair, feet are on the floor, bend your elbows if you want to. So hands in front of your face, eyes are closed, or bend your arms on the armrest, or have them in your lap. And what I'd like you to do is to touch each finger to the opposite finger. So your left thumb touches your right thumb, and your right index finger touches your left finger on the pads. And the other fingers, they all touch each other. Take a moment to feel your right hand and your left hand with your eyes closed. Just notice what differences you feel in each finger. Is there a finger that seems more relaxed or easier to sense? And if you were to go and scan at the same time your right fingers and your left fingers, go up your right arm and your left arm and up to your shoulders and down your spine, to your hips and to the feet on the floor. Which of your toes on the floor can you feel? Even if you've got shoes on, can you feel your right thumb and your right toe at the same time? Maybe your big toe and your right hand, right thumb. Can you sense your left thumb and your left big toe at the same time? Can you sense your index fingers on both sides? And there's also a toe maybe you can sense at the same time. Maybe the toe, your second toe. Can you sense that? Can you, yeah. And how about the two middle fingers and your two middle toes? Can you sense those? And then can you sense your fourth finger and your fourth toes at the same time? And then can you bring that awareness and spread it to your little fingers? Can you sense those? Can you sense your little fingers and your little toes at the same time? That feels a bit strange. Sometimes it gets a bit fuzzy when we think about toes. We just shove them in our socks and our shoes and we don't think about them. And then very gently, leaving your left hand relatively passive like we did in the beginning, can you find a way to make gentle circles on the pads of your fingers of the left hand using your right hand, the right hand that's moving, but this, rather than doing individual with the fingers, we're going to do all of the fingers, tiny little circles. A bit complicated by doing them all individually one at a time. I don't know if you can try that. Let's see if you can do all of them. Drawing the circles on the pads of your left fingers using your right hand. Okay, let it go for a moment, rest. Lots of resting going on, just so we don't overload the system with all this sensing going on. You scan down the body, right fingers, toes, and back with your left toes, left side of the body, and Okay, and come back. And just notice for a moment your index finger. Just have it gently, your right index finger touch your right eye. Close your eyes. Have it touch your right eye. So your right index finger gently touching your right eye. Breathe and relax in the most gentlest and softest way. Touch the right eyelid. Just notice with your middle finger, touch the right middle finger, gently touching around your eye. Breathe, relax. Just notice. It's nice. And then your ring finger, touch the eye with your ring finger, gently touch, notice. And then with your little finger, allow that to touch your eye gently, around the eye, gently noticing, don't hold your breath. And then stop, lower your hand, relax and breathe. Just, just relax and breathe for a moment. Then gently come back however you'd like to. Can you interlace the fingers of your hands again with your eyes closed? Feel your fingers, feel your hands, lower arms, forearms, upper arms, your body all the way down to your feet. If it's comfortable for you, interlace the hands and then go into the non-habitual way and just notice how you feel and what's different. Okay, then come back and with the left fingers, start to draw circles around all of the right fingers very gently. Slowly, the right hand stays still, but the left pads of the fingers gently circling around the right pads of the fingers. Very slowly and gently noticing what you notice. Relax your eyes, soften them, relax your breath. And then let that go. Interlace the hands in the habitual way. And then let that go. And in a non-habitual way, link your hands and just notice what you notice when you do that. And when you're ready, let that go and just take your time in your seated position. Stand up when you feel ready. Notice your contact in the floor, on the floor and standing. Notice your feet on the floor, toes, legs, length of your legs, how they sit inside your pelvis, your spine, shoulders, your arms. Then you might notice as you go for a walk, you might just notice different things moving and awareness might have shifted. And it might have shifted in your arms, in your face, in your eyes, how you see things, what you're looking at in the distance, what you're noticing. And then when you're ready, just come back to being in the room. And I hope you enjoyed that session. Happy practicing.